The sun's out, the sky's blue, and the people of Colwyn Bay are forming an orderly queue.
This is inside.
Martin's made it to the front, and our behind-the-scenes valuers have snapped up his album for James Late's table.
Hello, Martin.
Hello, James.
Very nice to meet you. Quite an interesting photograph album. I've had a quick flip through. Fascinating photographs. There are sprinters, acrobats, and there are strong men. But will I be strong enough to wrestle it off the buyer?
I think you mean seller. That's Martin.
I'm hoping for somewhere in the region of £200. James is a lovely guy, but I hope he's got deep pockets.
A family album?
That's right.
It is the family album?
Yeah. Well, I've had it over 50 years.
Have you? So let's see what's inside. Are these your ancestors?
Oh, I'm not sure, because my mother gave me the book.
If you grew a moustache, you'd look a bit like him.
Would I?
I think you would, yeah. So your mum gave you this book?
Yeah.
So if she owned it, do you think the chances are that these are her family?
There's possibility.
Yeah.
There's possibility.
Yeah. Because looking at the style of the book, it dates from around about 1900, 1910.
Oh.
Because this is very typical kind of arts and crafts decoration. And these people all look as if they're late Victorians or Edwardians. By 1900, photography was kind of 60 years old. And photography was huge then. So I did have a look through earlier, and I was immediately struck by these marvellous strongmen.
That's our album.
So do you know anything about them?
I don't know a thing about them.
You didn't ask your mum?
I didn't ask her. I should have
wish
done.
you had.
She never told me.
And now it's too late.
No, it's too late.
Now this is interesting. The back of this one, the world champion sprinter. And here he is, looking very serious. Champion sprinters these days would be worth millions, wouldn't they?
They would. But
they'd be advertising shoes and shirts and goodness knows what. He doesn't look as if he's advertising anything, except maybe his moustache. And then it goes on with presumably members of the family and so on. And it was, in its day, it was a good album with a leather binding. So this is all embossed leather. Again, it's very typical late 19th, early 20th century decoration. And it's in sort of reasonable condition. It's a bit of scuffing, but at least the binding is still more or less intact. So, why are you getting rid of it?
I don't know they belong to the photos.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, sell it on. My daughter's just having a baby.
Right.
And put the money towards a pram. You know.
Selling the ancestors to buy a pram.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd like to offer you 20, 30, £40 for it.
Oh, no. I think it's worth a lot more than that.
We'll try a bit harder.
A lot harder.
A bit harder. 50, 60, 70.
No.
You're a hard man.
Well, your pockets are a bit deeper than mine.
I'll have one more go, and then I think we better ask David's opinion.
OK, then.
So there's £80.
OK.
Still not enough?
No, not enough.
Shall we get David in to see what he thinks?
Yes, please.
OK, then. Here he comes.
Well, it's a tricky one, this. I've just gone back to speak with my experts. Now, what we're looking for, or what the collector is looking for, is something maybe topographical, of a way of life that doesn't exist anymore. And there's some interesting photographs of strong men, of small people, so those might be of interest on their own. 200 to 300 is where they're placing this. So I'm going to say 2 to 3. This one is worth a gamble unless James just returned from holiday, I see, chopping up the tan. Can't have too much of that. He may wish to put more down, but let's see which way it goes.
He's quite right, you see. I've just been on holiday and spent all my money. All right, we'll try again.
Yes.
We'll dig a bit deeper.
Yeah.
So 80, 100, 120,
Keep going.
140,
Keep going.
160,
Keep going. Don't forget the pram.
I'm hesitating. 180.
I think a little bit more than that, James.
Shall we ask David what he thinks now?
Yeah.
What do you think, David?
It's more tricky now. 180 is on the table. That's a safe offer. Is that it? Is that the end of the temptation?
I was thinking I might just possibly put one more down.
Well, that might seal the deal.
All right, OK.
OK, let's see what the one is. Let's see if you're tempted. But if you want to go to auction, I'm there to take you.
OK. So I'm going to put another 20 down.
Yeah.
So it's 200.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where I see it. But, you know, David's offered you a day out.
I thought another £10 might buy a little blanket for the pram.
Take up knitting. Knit yourself a blanket.
Well, I couldn't do that. Are you willing to put another 10?
No, I'm there. I'm there with
Okay,
200.
OK.
We got a deal?
We've got a deal.
OK. Blanket or no
Thank
blanket?
you very much, Captain.
Thanks for bringing it along.
OK.
And I'm going to try and find out who they are now.
Thank you. The deal went very well, and thanks to James, I'm in the money.
Didn't take me too long to do the research on the album. Family like this, do you think?
We couldn't possibly comment, James.